Hi guys, Ken Chigbo, aka Ken FX Freak, back with another week roundup and look ahead to the key events. Let's start off. What did we see last week? Last week, if you just pull up here behind me, you can see, okay, the dollar index finished in negative territory after such a strong week previously, right? We'd gained over 2% in that prior week, our best weekly gain since March. Now, why the pullback? Nothing drastic fundamentally to suggest a change in tone. Remember, last week was very much supportive about rising concerns again over the COVID cases that have continued to be seen, UK, Europe, and remain to be the case. But I think this was just a bit of a technical pullback, a bit of profit-taking correction, okay? Before I go into some of the specifics regarding dollar of what I foresee, just a quick recap as well. There's a lot of volatility last week around GBP. I'll show you sort of more technically in a moment, but you can see, let's just pull up the 4 hour. Look at all this choppy price action, some big swings, but very choppy. And that was just mixed messages on the Brexit front, okay? They're same for GJ, very choppy. I'll show you more specifics in a moment. But that was just on the Brexit. A lot of back and forth, progress 1 minute, progress not, then progress again. It was literally yo-yo in terms of fundamental developments and causing yo-yo price action there technically. Just so you know, expect some upside at the open through the early part of this week. Just the early part, I believe, just because they've extended the talks now. They've allowed more time for another month, okay? So Boris Johnson's deadline of October 15th doesn't really stand anymore. So this is GBP positive. Now, let's just show you something back. Let's go back to the dollar a minute. What I am foreseeing now. Okay, so obviously the dollar had its little pullback. You saw that last week. I think there's going to be a little bit more this week for the first part of this week, in my view. But if you look at September's candlestick, we've still got this wick to fill, in my view, where I'm expecting that to eventually continue to the upside and on its recovery. Okay, it's a bullish engulfing, and then just also that wick there for September that needs to be filled. So I think initially at the early part of this week, I've got this as a bear flag. Maybe we see some downside, catch some support at this lower tracking trend line that's been in play there for the 1st of September. Euro dollar, really nice as well. If you have a look, last week, or the week before last, remember how we broke out of this range? And this is the retest, still probably another retest to come up here properly before possible rejections and committing to the dollar bulls. And why do I see dollar bulls coming into play eventually? It's because, guys, of, heading into the elections, I think there'll be a bit of uncertainty. Well, it is uncertainty. So you want to back the safe havens, JPY dollar, on that front. So I think we could see that, and obviously attention again coming back into play regarding COVID as well. So I think with a lot of the dollar's peers, we could have some room for upside before we start seeing some downside. This is AUD, by the way, guys. We moved out of this sort of ascending channel structure. Okay, we sort of broken out and we're consolidating, retesting. This could pump up to the upside heading into RBA. We've got the RBA rate decision now. I'm not expecting any change. That's a general consensus. They're going to look at waiting and see because they're already using a lot of their tools right now, so they don't want to rush. Maybe wait 1 more month. November is when markets are expecting that, and we're looking for the RBA to give the markets that signal in this rate decision. So we could still see some downside for the Australian dollar, maybe initial bit of upside pressure heading into, but then after markets are like, okay, we need to start pricing in actions coming from the RBA in November. So maybe room for upside before continuing to the south. What else can we talk about? Gold prices as well. Let's just take a look at gold. By the way, guys, we had a bout of momentum to the upside for dollar, yen, and gold at the latter stages of last week because Trump was diagnosed with COVID. He's battling it at the moment. He's seemingly stable, but still anything can happen, unfortunately. If you look at gold on a weekly, right, we had this narrowing, break out of that range, and now we're retesting this. I want to see, similar to like euro dollar, I want to see this squeeze to the upside, and that could tie in with, the dollar weakness that we see at the first part of the week, and then the flows come back into the greenback. So I want to see this retest before we extend further to the north. Oh, I've got a really itchy head today. And if you look as well, it's just like a bit of consolidation. Perhaps it's like a flag. I could mark that up as a flag before then seeing some downside coming into play. So in terms of this week, really, focal points are AUD, okay, the RBA, continue to look at for Brexit developments as well as they've extended their talks. But that's pretty much it. This week on the calendar, it's generally quite quiet, quite light. But as I say, I'm looking for a bit of dollar weakness before the bulls come into play. Have an amazing week. Guys, do not hesitate to check out me across all social media channels, Ken FX Freak and Freak Network for daily fundamental and technical analysis. don't forget to check out BluFX as well. An amazing solution. Stay lit. Let's get it.